Testing, testing, 1, 2. If I'm talking over here, can you hear me as well as you can hear me over there? Can you say something more than me so we can test it?
Oh, like what?
Oh my God. Well, you're blocking the mic with your hand in your face, first of all.
Oops.
She's knitting again, guys. She's back. Hi, world. It's Jengwei, and I'm here with Mimi's. I think you're just going to officially be like a co-host or something because you're the only person that's ever on my podcast.
Good.
It's because when I travel alone, and I've asked Shelly to do it with me, but she's brat, and she won't even download TikTok to follow her best friend. Just so
She
that
doesn't have TikTok?
no, she doesn't have TikTok. She's just like Instagram Reels. She's just like an Insta girl. And I'm like, okay, girl, TikTok is like 3 weeks ahead of Instagram. It's the same thing, but I believe it's more curated to your likes and your dislikes and whatever, your For You page. It just stalks you more, which is fine, and it's funnier. But why am I talking about this? We're supposed to be testing. We'll be back. Any hoodles. I was just saying.
Any hoodle?
You've never heard
What
me?
is that?
You've never heard me say any hoodles? Ew, did I
No.
sound old? Did that make me sound like an old lady?
No.
Any hoodles? She's making a face like, yeah. Well, you're knitting.
Well,
You're
that's
literally knitting, so
different.
don't even.
It's because I'm stylish.
We tested, and I think I'm a lot louder because I'm closer to the mic, and you're slouching even farther back and looking over there, so you don't have to scooch in like that. Just fix your posture, sit up straight, fix your face, sweep the floor, clean the chimney. Who do I sound like?
Mom.
Your mom.
Your mom.
Your mom is my mom. Anyways, all of that to say, I don't have anybody to be on the podcast with me when I'm traveling because I'm traveling alone. And the people that I have gone to visit are they hate me. They don't understand my stupid TikTok and personality or like the satire or whatever. Like, honestly, if one of my friends had a social media platform that they loved and enjoyed and they were trying to grow and monetize and yada yada, I would download the freaking app. In fact, I have in the past. I have downloaded Twitch to my phone. I'm like, I don't know what the hell Twitch is. It had just become popular. I don't stream video games or watch people streaming video games these days. Now I do because it's blown up a little bit more. But back in the day, I had a friend that started a Twitch account and he was like, yo, follow me. And I was like, yeah, of course, my dude. So I downloaded Twitch and I followed him just to be supportive and nice. And I just don't understand that. I just don't understand friends and family being like, you do what? Ew, I don't like TikTok. I'm like, okay, well, do you like me? Because it's fine. You really don't have to. I don't like to pressure people to follow me, and I actually don't force them to, and I never really bring it up again. I just think that it's weird because I really would. Follow me for support because every time you view my videos, it helps me grow and make money and do better in my business, yada, yada. And I'd be like, literally, why would I not do that? I love you. So all that to say, I highly doubt she's going to want to ever do this podcast with me. We've talked about it, and she would it would literally. You met Shelly. Was that the first time you met Shelly when we went to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think so.
What is that dog? Oh my God, we're gonna have to call the neighbors on the popo on the neighbors again.
The neighbors.
We have to call the neighbors on the popo out here. Is he done? It's like 3:00 in the morning. What time is it? It's only like 9:00. Anyways, so Juliana finally met Shelly, my best friend. What are you doing?
I'm thirsty.
You are the worst co-host in America.
Sorry.
Look at her screechy, scratchy, moving the chairs, eating a water bottle, crinkling your knitting needles. I can't with you.
ASMR.
Do you have any spatial intelligence, spatial awareness? We're going to get into this tonight. That's what today's episode is about, is the types of intelligence.
There was one time I came home.
God, the rabbit trails are serious already. This is going to be rough, guys. Take a seat and buckle up for tonight's episode.
Dude, because you said space, and there was one time.
Oh, my God.
I was coming home from being with Papi, and I was walking right there. And then
you don't need to smack the microphone to tell your story.
Anyways, I was walking in the grass, and then I saw these 3 light beams, and they're like moving, and I
Ew.
thought they were aliens.
Juliana, are you talking about the things from the firework place where they advertise the fireworks and so there's lights in the sky? Or did you really think there was
I thought there was aliens. There's 3 of them. They were big white circles.
beams, right? Like big beams in the sky?
Yeah, but it looks like they're going down, not up.
Yeah. Wait, down?
They
They
were
look like they were
pointing
coming from
down.
up? From space?
They were just going like this, swimming, swishing around everywhere, circling.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It didn't look like it was coming from the top of the building, pointing into the sky like Batman
Uh-uh.
symbol.
No Batman symbol.
No Batman.
Aliens.
There was no Batman. Aliens. It reminds me of the cat from Oliver and Company.
It's an alien. And then
Un gato. Anyways, hi world. Welcome to Ill for Real, where you never know what you're gonna get because this podcast is like a box of chocolates.
what?
That's when you're supposed to come in and say, "I love you, Jenny."
What is that from?
Dear God, why do I have a 15-year-old as my co-host? That's from Forrest Gump. Look it up.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Dear God, it's literally the one freaking joke that everybody in America thinks is the funniest thing to say because my name is Jenny and the main character's name is Jenny, and he always says, "I love you, Jenny," and so that's what people say to me. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast. Anyways, what was I saying? Juliana just is always like consistently here, and I also think that's interesting that you're literally can be my child, and we are experiencing 2 completely different worlds and very different personalities. So we like to get deep, we like to get real on here, and I like to learn, and I feel like I haven't done a lot of like educational or informational episodes lately, and I've been mentioning every freaking week on how badly I want to talk about this multiple intelligence theory, and it seems very interesting to me. I just took the quiz, so if you're interested in taking this quiz that we're going to do today and learning about what intelligence type you are, I'll give you all the information right after this short break. Okie doke, here we go. I can't believe we're finally going to do this episode. I'm really excited. I wrote some notes in my phone, and I'm going to read you the website that we're going to use. So I Googled multiple intelligence. Who's it?
Edwina.
Oh my God. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a chair. Mama Jenglin. There she goes. She's interrupting already.
Who's Edwina?
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, listeners. It's Mama Jenglin. Oh, here she comes. She's a screamer. Who is she calling Edwina?
I don't know.
The neighbors are going to think she's lost her mind. She's in the yard going, Edwina. We don't know anybody named Edwina. They think we're going to be looking for Edwina. The neighbors are like, oh, that poor lady lost her dog, Edwina.
Who is Edwina?
I don't even think I'm recording. Did I even start recording? Oh, I did. Okay, well, we're going to wait till Mama Jenglin starts clanging the air fryer and cleaning the pots and pans to get into this, because I've literally been trying to make this episode for a year now. Okay, goodbye.
Okay. You read all of that?
Exactly. I was in such a good mood and I was going to, but now I'm not gonna.
Read the first paragraph and then
be quiet. Don't tell me what to do. I'm 31. I can do whatever I want. Yeah.
You'll be told.
Yes. The lady on TikTok, her name is I think it's just Sunfire with a Y, Fyre. She plays drums and her catchphrase is, I'm 31, I can do whatever I want. And she puts the mushroom hat from like Toad from Mario. She puts a hat of a mushroom on her head and she plays the drums. Wah! And she just like screams and she's obnoxious and plays the drums. And people love her and are obsessed with her, but then there's obviously the people who that's super obnoxious to them and they hate her, so they comment. And she always responds to the troll comments with them being like, shut up already. Don't you ever just shut the fuck up? And she goes, I'm 31, I can do whatever I want. She does it again. So now I quote her all the time. I'm so mad that I turned 32 because now I can't say 31. So I'm waiting for her to turn 32 so that we could both say, I'm 32 and I can do whatever I want. doing the scream like she does. It's so funny. You had to be there. You had to be there. Anyways, or as I said earlier, any hoodles. Dear God, how long has this episode been already? I typed in multiple intelligence theory and a website came up, idrlabs.com. So you can go on idrlabs.com to take this test and find out which type of intelligence you are. Let's get into it. Based on the work of Howard Gardner, PhD, this test is designed to assess your abilities in 8 different areas of intelligence, and they are linguistic, logical/mathematical, spatial, bodily/kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. Now, I have some notes in my phone because I don't remember where I heard about this whole multiple intelligence theory, but I was fascinated. So, and then wherever I heard this, they were kind of having a conversation, and they added others. They added different types of intelligence that there could possibly be out there, because the conversation was there's no such thing as a smart or a dumb person. Like, you nodded your head that you agree, like, which you can chime in here anytime you want, Miss Co-host over there knitting.
Well.
She's in her own world. Yeah, I just like, we call people dumb and stupid and stuff all the time, but even like the quote unquote dumbest people out there who don't know how to do math or don't like to spell or can't read very well, those people are not stupid or dumb, and they have intelligence, and they are very strong in some sort of area. Like, in a way, everybody's a genius in their own way. So like, you're a genius how? Some people, like, could be really good at knitting. I don't even know what the hell yarn is. You know what I mean?
What?
Like, everybody just has different skills. And I think I've said this a long time ago on a past episode. I don't like this whole idea of just, do I think people are stupid? Yeah, people are stupid in a way of like, they're jerks or assholes, like in that way. But people, I don't like calling people dumb, because everybody can learn something from someone else in some way. Like, you can take someone who has a severe mental disability or physical disability and put them next to the smartest freaking CEO with all of the money in the world, or Elon Musk, if you may. And that person who has disabilities that Elon Musk doesn't have can and would teach Elon Musk something different that he has no freaking clue about, or can do something that Elon can't. And I think that just goes without saying. Obviously, that's very obvious, but
What kind of name is Elon?
that's what you chime in to say?
Guys, who names their kid Elon?
Who are you talking to over there on the other side of the room?
My footies. That I'm
Your
knitting.
footies. I don't know what kind of a name is Elon. Would you like me to Google this information
No, it's okay.
for you to learn some more today? Because we like learning around here.
Not learning.
Okay. Okay, so to read a little bit more from the website, each of these areas represents a different way of thinking and learning, and we all have strengths in some areas and challenges in others. By taking this test, you gain a better understanding of your own unique abilities and how you can use them to your advantage. Please keep in mind that this test is not a measure of your overall intelligence or worth as a person. Amen, IDR Labs. It is simply a tool to help you understand yourself better and learn more about the way you think and learn. So yep, they said it all there. And the reason I want to take it is I pretty much like can kind of guess which one I am. I know I'm not logistical or mathematical in any sense. But then they asked me questions because I've already answered all 40 of the questions. And it's so obvious, like, which way I'm gonna be bending, but I'm sure that there's, like, we all have little bits and pieces of all of the intelligences in one. But there's obviously one that you lean more towards. So if you're at all curious at which one you are mostly or where you are strongest, if you say someone is very musical, but also they're really good at math because music and math are very similar things. She's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Music and
Quarter
math?
notes, whole notes. A whole note has 4 beats. If there's a measure in a see, this is somewhere where clear she literally looks confused AF right now. But if there's a measure in a musical staff that has 4 whole notes, how many beats is in that measure?
4?
No, it has 4 whole notes. One whole note is 4 beats. I think I haven't read music like that in years. Yeah, one whole note is why am I confusing myself? Yeah, a whole note is a circle. It has 4 beats. And if there's 4 whole notes in a measure, how many beats are in that measure?
4.
There's 4 notes.
So what? There's 4 times 4?
Yes. So isn't that crazy
16.
that that's math? Math is music and music is math. So
Wouldn't
so
it?
people could be taking this test and be like, "Oh, obviously, I'm like a very musical person. I play all these instruments, I read music or whatever." But taking this test, they could find out, "Oh, I'm talented in music, but I'm just a very logistical or mathematical thinker. So my intelligence type is actually math." And that's where it gets interesting to me. How much how many beats are in a half note?
2.
There you go. And what about a quarter note?
1.
There you go.
I messed up.
You messed up your ninny?
Yes, look at the pad. It's not a braid no more. It's all the way over here and I can't fix it.
It's not braid no more. Can't you just unwind it? I don't know what kind of intelligence theory this takes, but I'm not it. I'm just kidding. I am actually a very okay. Um, I took this test already. There's 40 questions, and there's questions like that, like um the first one is I can learn better if things are accompanied by charts, diagrams, or other technical illustrations. And so there's a little toggle here where you can leave it in the middle. You don't know if you agree or disagree, or you can strongly agree or strongly disagree, yada, yada. I already answered all of the questions. So I'm going to skip to the end to find out which one that I am, and then I'll let you answer the questions and take the quiz so that we can see which one you are. Um, because yeah, it's just very interesting. See how this question is, I can tell when a note is off key.
A little bit.
Some people are like tone deaf and they don't know.
When you're tone deaf, do you hear music different or you just say music different?
You hear music the same, I would say, but you're like your voice isn't capable. You don't know how to get your voice to match what your ears want your voice to do or what your brain is hearing or thinking, if that makes sense. Like anybody can go, but some people hear me saying, and they try to do it and their vocal cords are like they just like their bodies just can't. Okay, so I've gotten my results. We've got the color wheel is like there's more color going to fill up this pie chart on the circle of the 8 pie slices of each different type of intelligence. So we've got nature smart is orange and it's almost all the way filled. Body smart, I've got more than halfway full. Word smart, pushing halfway. Number smart, I've a little bit less than halfway. Interpersonal, which is people smart, like people skills, it's almost all the way full, more full than the nature smart, which I'm actually surprised by. Intrapersonal, which is myself smart, is just a tiny little bit less than people smart, which I'm also interested in. I'm interested to see. Music smart is also almost all the way full, and visually smart, which I think that's what they meant by the spatial. Like on my notes here on the phone, that last conversation that I heard somebody talking about with this was, I for some reason I wrote notes. It says spatial, in parentheses I put basketball slash rebounds. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a basketball player, I believe, but there was some sort of a conversation. I think he is like known for like having the most rebounds. Like he was very good at like knowing when somebody throws a basketball at a hoop, where that ball was going to hit the hoop and where the ball was going to land. So he knew where to go, like under the basket, um, to get the ball for the rebound. Like he was really good at that. I really hope I don't sound stupid right now and I'm saying this wrong, because all I put was basketball rebounds and Dennis Rodman. So I believe from what I remember, Dennis Rodman is a basketball player. And if he's not, I'm going to sound so dumb. But I'm pretty sure I remember that that's what it was, that that's what he was known for. And that's like a type of, some people literally would never know, which is funny. Like a few minutes ago before we started recording, I had an empty water bottle and I held it by the cap upside down and I threw it towards the garbage can on the other side of the room. And I knew it was going to bounce off the wall. The lid is not open, so the water bottle didn't go into the trash can, but it hit the wall and bounced onto the trash can. So I would have made the basket, but it's just sitting on top of the lid of the trash can. So when you were like, oh, you're basketball smart, you said something about basketball
skills.
Yeah, you got basketball skills. And I was laughing because I remembered that I had written this note in here about that was something that someone added. It's a certain type of, I guess, intelligence is what you would say, because not everybody can do that. Oh my God, I'm so smart.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. But I just think it's so interesting. And then I added on my notes to this as well, just because the people I like being around is people who are, I don't know how I would say this, humorly smart. Like I love when someone doesn't take offense to a joke, or they understand satire and comedy, or they can cope through humor, or they see things in the world differently through humor and comedy. So I feel like I added like a comedic or humor intelligence, because not everybody can stand up in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a stage and constantly be making them laugh and putting on a comedy show and engaging with people and their brains and their personalities through humor. And I don't know, I just think it's a whole other skill other than music and stuff like that. Mama Jengwen, say hi.
Hello.
Oh, she does want to be on the podcast. So, let me see if the results. So basically what it does is it shows me, like I said, that little pie chart of where I'm mostly have my type of intelligence, and then it kind of lists off. Good night. Love you.
Why are you walking?
Is she trying to
like
walk
that?
quietly or something? I told Mama Jengwen I want to do hers and see which one it is. But basically, it just kind of color codes all of the answers to each section and tells you what they mean thoroughly. So do you want me to read this now, or do we want...
That is too much. Might as well read a book.
Might as well read a book. I mean, I basically explained it. Let's see. My lowest one was number smart, logical. I'm not as much of a logical thinker.
I think I am.
I think you are too. That's what I'm interested to see. Number smarts or reasoning smarts is the ability to work well with numbers, complex concepts, and scientific ideas. This type of intelligence is often found among mathematicians, detectives, and scientists, which is interesting because I'm a pretty good detective, if you ask me, in my interpersonal life. If you need some FBI detective skills, especially when it comes to social media, I'm your girl. And it also says sequential I'm very good at sequential patterns, so I'm interested.
What's that?
The little tiny like where you see sequences and you can, like, you know, it'll be like fill in the blank what's next in this.
Oh,
like
I'm good at those too.
Like
I'm good at strategy games.
Yeah, strategy games,
Zelda.
experiments. Yeah, see, I'm good at stuff like that. Zelda, trying to figure out the puzzles and the brain teasers. And it says games that involve numbers such as Sudoku. I love Sudoku. I'm not fast at it. I'm very slow at Sudoku, but I'm thorough and I love it. I enjoy it. So my little tiny bit of my pie chart that's filled in with the logical part of me is those things. It's more like brain teasers and things that get me thinking, but I'm just very slow. I don't process feelings or emotions through like a lot of the questions on the quiz is like, do you make decisions better by drawing charts and tables? I'm like, no. Like, if anything, maybe I'll write a list
I've done
about
that
something.
before.
You write a chart and like you
Uh-huh.
fill in
I
like
write circles for people and then
really.
uh-huh.
See, that's so funny. Whereas me, like maybe if anything, I would write a list of pros and cons, but no tables, no charts. Freaking algebra, those charts and graphs, no graphs, no thank you. So that was my least. And then let's see, my most. Um, from the questions that they asked, I thought for sure the highest was going to be naturalistic. And then I figured myself smart because, ew, for real, I really like talking about deep emotional stuff and I'm very in tune with myself and who I am. But interestingly, even with right now, as much as I hate people, I don't hate people. I see and love the good in people, but I've just been very traumatized lately that the world looks very different to me. But still, in taking this test, my very highest score was interpersonal, which is other people smart. And I'll read that. So if you're similar to me, people smarts is the ability to effectively interact with and understand other people. People high in this trait are usually known for their advanced communication skills, empathy, and ability to assess others' feelings and intentions correctly. So, like, yeah, you can tell when if you ask, hey, do you want to go to the store with me or whatever? And they go, yeah, yeah, we can go. Okay, you hesitated and you said yeah, but your head kind of shook. Like you can just read and you know. And some people just have no gauge of reading those signs. They're just like, "Oh yeah, she said yeah. If she didn't want to go, she would have said no, right?" No, not everybody's like that. That would be amazing if the world was like that, but that's not realistic. I'm a people pleaser and so I literally say yes to everything and 98% of the time I'm like, "Oh, fuck this fucking stuff. I fucking hate shopping. Can she tell that I wanted to say no, but I said yes?" Like and some people just can't they don't understand that. And then it says, you're also usually great at solving conflicts and creating positive relationships around them. So these people usually end up being psychologists, educators, politicians, ew, no, social workers, and people who work in sales are usually high in this trait. I'm a great saleswoman. Just kidding. Um, but that's interesting because I didn't really think that yeah, I mean, I guess educators and politicians make sense, but I have no interest in see, when I think of a politician, I don't think of that like, oh, they're good with other people. I think they're like business smart, which means they would have to know statistics and blah, blah, blah. But apparently a politician is more of an interpersonal intelligence, even though most of them suck at their jobs. um, and then my next, that's what I'll do. We'll read your top two and your bottom two. Yeah. And so then my next highest score was my self skills, which was intrapersonal or self smarts is the ability to understand oneself and utilize such knowledge in one's decision making and planning. People high in this trait are typically well aware of their thoughts, feelings, weaknesses, strengths, and motivations. They usually have rich and rewarding introspections and like to process their experience in depth. They express their feelings creatively and put others at ease by being maturely self aware. I don't know about maturely, but self aware, yes. This type of intelligence is often demonstrated by wait, what the other one? Also psychologists. Okay.
Writers.
Psychologists, writers, theorists, philosophers, scientists, and spiritual leaders. Oh, I could be a spiritual leader. I'm going to be a lady preacher. Just kidding. Writers, I feel like I guess I relate to the most music and stuff like that. I consider I I'm not very good at writing songs and things like that, but I do like rhyming and trying to put thoughts together in a way that flows and makes you feel things. Um, Again, like they said, experiencing something in depth. And I used to kind of have an interest of wanting to be a psychologist because even though I'm pretty effed up, I feel like I would do well, like being a psychologist.
A psychologist?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, like it just in psychology, like that whole world fascinates me. So I also scored very high in naturalistic, but what was my next lowest? My next
Linguistic.
lowest was linguistic. Word smarts is competence with spoken and written language. And I just feel like I really struggle with that because I'm so slow at reading. Like, I understand. I take so long to process things. It takes me a minute. Word problems? Oh, hell no. I suck at. I don't care what it is, how easy of a question it is. If it is in word problem form, immediately no. Unless it's a song that rhymes, then no. You're close. It's the ability to effectively use words to express ideas, as well as understanding the ideas of others through their words, and to comprehend complex vocabularies. See, this is already too long for me. I immediately know. Using uncommon, technical, or foreign words. Oh, yeah. Writers, public speakers, language learners, teachers, and other professions which involve juggling words and speech. Juggling? Not juggling words. No.
I tried juggling the other day. It didn't work.
I love learning new words. I wish that I could expand, which I can. It's very much so possible. You can expand your vocabulary by reading more. One of the questions I think was, do you often look up words in the dictionary? I don't have a dictionary, but I look up words on Google all the time. And I'm like, what's this word? Ooh, I want to learn what this means. Or how do you say smart, but sound smart saying the word smart? Word for smart is intelligence. And sure, that's an easy word to remember, but there's so many other ways to like expand your what's the word I was looking for? Somebody just
vocabulary?
Yeah, your vocabulary, but there's a word for, can't even think of a word. There's a word for being well spoken. There's another way to say well spoken. Articulate. There's a way of being articulate, and my brain just will not remember. I'm always looking up. I follow this page on Instagram that gives you like a word from a dictionary and its meaning every day. And it's so fun and cool. I don't remember one single fucking word I read all year. I don't remember one, but I think that's more of a memory problem. So I don't know what my problem is. Those who are high in this type of intelligence often enjoy crossword. See, I like crossword puzzles. Scrabble? I love Scrabble.
I never played Scrabble.
Really? Reading, writing, and all manner of wordplay. I enjoy that. I'm so slow at it. I am pretty good at Scrabble, though. But that's because I'm smart and I use I'm smart in the way where I'm like, nah, I'm going to make something with this cube because it's 10 points. Quack, here we come. Anyways, so there's that. I'm just very interested. Should we just read the other ones? Should we read the other ones? And then you can take your test and we'll see. We're going to read them all right now so that the people who feel like maybe they're musically intelligent will know what their description is. But then you can take the test and then we'll just go over which ones you are fully in. We're going to laugh. I might cry and I'm going to want to tell you why, because hey, well, that's just life. Guys, this microphone cut us off literally right as I was asking Juliana if that's okay that we could do that. I was like, is that okay if we read it that way? And she looked at me and she was like, what did you say?
I said I wasn't paying attention to anything you said.
She literally, so rude. And I told her she's going to score so low on the interpersonal people smart skills because I was literally looking at you in your eyeballs, making eye contact, talking to you, and you just weren't even listening.
I was thinking about something else.
I'm gonna cry. Apparently what she was thinking about was that we were running out of time to record. You should have said something. You should have said, I think it's gonna run out of time to record.
But then if it was the recording, I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, lucky for you, it cut off where you were so rude and you said, I wasn't listening to a single word you said for like 30 freaking minutes. Anyways, So my most was people smart, then it was myself smart, and then I got nature smart. So for those of you who are nature smart, here is a little bit more on that. Naturalistic intelligence or nature smarts is the ability to be in tune with the natural world and discern the patterns that govern its ecology. People high in this trait are interested in learning more about nature, exploring and saving the environment, and nurturing life. I think the reason I scored really high on this was because I said strongly agree to feeling most alive in nature. And I love tending to, it said you love gardening and tending to plants, and I love houseplants. It is, I'm staring at a plant right now that I have been staring at actually the whole night. I just realized I was thinking about this without realizing the little tiny baby leaves that are coming out of this monstera that's being propagated in water. And just don't even think I'm going to plant it, because if I pot it in soil, mom's going to overwater it or underwater it and kill it. But it will just live forever in that vase of water, and it keeps growing baby leaves. And it just brings me so much joy that life is being formed out of nothing. And Juliana's scratching her forehead like she's so freaking bored right now, because she probably does not care about this, but it literally makes me so happy. So I know that there's people out there that will relate to that, and those people are typically skilled at looking for relationships. Oh, see, that's me. Looking for relationships, differences, and patterns in nature. Nature smart people enjoy hiking, camping, oh my God, gardening, and other outdoor activities. This intelligence is demonstrated by farmers, biologists, foresters, geologists, breeders, horticulturists, and animal trainers. And I have zero interest in any of those. What is the word I'm looking for? See, word smarts. Any of those professions. Mm-mm. I don't want to be a forester, a biologist, a farmer, a breeder, a horticulturalist, or an animal trainer. Literally none of those things.
I wouldn't mind being an animal trainer. I want to work at the zoo.
That sounds, and it asked me that too. It says, "Are you typically good with animals?" And I answered almost like strongly agree, but like I am. I'm good with animals and I understand them and stuff, but like I don't want to. No, thank you. I don't want to take your dog outside to pee, and I don't want to train you, and you're gonna piss me off. I'm just gonna throw a treat at you so that you'll shut up and leave me alone. Like, I'm good with them. It's almost like kids. Oh my gosh, like little children and dogs. I love dogs. I don't have a problem with dogs. They're just too much for me. They're too similar to me, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but they like sense that, and they know this lady's fun and she's gonna run around in the yard and we're gonna have so much fun. And so I want to hug her and I want to kiss her and I want to lick her and I want to jump on her, and I'm literally like, the fuck off of me. You literally reminded me of myself and you make me sick. It's just too much, and I have no patience. If there was a patience intelligence, I would have 0%. But it's weird because I also have the strongest rope of faith. Like I literally let people trample and walk all over me, use me and abuse me until I am full of nothing but she's tapping my leg in pity again. No pity tapping. But yeah, I give people 3 billion chances. I have a long rope of patience, but when it's like, I don't know, it's like when it's patience for something that would feel good to have, what's the word? See, it's always what's the word. When I'm on TikTok live, I say that like 35 times. I'm like, what's the word for this? For that? Never, what's the word? I literally just don't know words. What is that, a dying cat or an ambulance?
I think it's an ambulance.
Oh yeah, it's an ambulance and a fire truck. Oh no. I'm itchy.
Me too.
Are you itchy? What did we get
My
into?
ankle. Look at that.
We have bug bites all over us. See, this is why I don't want to be a naturalist or horticulturalist. What is
Why
this?
are you red?
Guys, thank God they can't see. I'm literally flashing the microphone. I've lifted my bra, and all underneath my boobs is red, itchy, scratchy rash, and my face is all red, and I have really giant mosquito bites all over my legs. I think maybe I'm just allergic to mosquitoes. No biologists.
You're contagious.
I'm contagious. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about nature is bugs. Oh, I went to sit outside and I was like, oh, this is so nice. I'm gonna sit in the sun and bask under this tree. And I was like, these fucking bugs are going to kill me. So I have no interest. Hiking, camping, I just had a conversation with somebody on our drive back from Indy. And I was like, what makes you happiest? Like the happiest you've ever felt in your life, and the thing that just brings you so much joy that you could do it every day and you love it so much. And they answered gaming. Some people are very smart with computers and gaming, and he's got very good aim and, just stuff like that. Nerds, exactly. And then his other option was like being outdoors in nature and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's mine. Like literally, I try to think of like, when do I feel literally like I'm so excited, I can't wait? Besides like things like going to like a theme park or amusement park and stuff like that, it's camping. Like the feeling of going camping, packing up, setting up a tent, and putting your stuff out to cook while you get ready to go on a hike and climb on mossy covered rocks. Oh, I love it.
I like road trips.
Road trips are fun. That's the happiest you feel? That's what brings you most joy is road trips?
No, but I like them.
So what's your thing that makes you happiest?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Otra vez con I don't know. Let's see how much more time we have to. Okay, we've got plenty of time. So then we've got these people listening who just want to know what their thing is are probably like, get on with it. Intrapersonal, naturalistic, and then my next one, I think it's a tie between visually smart, which is that spatial thing, the basketball thing we were talking about, and body smart. I think those are pretty much tied. Oh wait, no, musical is next. It goes people smart, myself smart, then I'm nature smart, and then I'm music smart. That's what's my most next. Or sound smarts is the ability to distinguish and appreciate the different elements of music as inhibited by singers, musicians, composers, conductors. I think a lot of people would have assumed that this is what I would have been. And like when I think of, the different types of intelligence, when I hear the word musically smart, I automatically think like, that's going to be me. I'm literally a musician. I love to sing. I play different instruments. That's my job and everything. I make Disney parodies to make people laugh on TikTok. Like, I think a lot of people would assume that, but it's like my fourth one. And it's just so weird and interesting to me how you can be something completely different than what you thought, Composers and conductors. People high in this type of intelligence are usually keen listeners, which is funny because I literally haven't shut up the fuck up this whole time. Juliana's not listening.
Yes, I
am. Keen listeners who excel in their capacity to create, remember, I have terrible memory, and discern musical patterns as well as melodies, beats, and songs. It is not uncommon to find people high in musical intelligence humming, drumming, or singing to themselves. I'm whistling all the time.
I do the first one and the last one all the time.
You were humming earlier. Many also learn better through devices that involve rhymes, beats, or songs. Oh. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. That's why they do that.
That's
for kids to learn easier.
That's how I remember the address and mom's number.
Really? I used to, numbers make sense. Like I can kind of do like a rhythm for like memorizing. So, which is so weird because I'm not number smart, but the one thing in the world that I am, amazing memory. You give me your phone number one time and I will remember it forever. Guess what your number is? 219-66.
Text me.
Oh my God. No, if you give me your phone number, I will memorize that number till the day I die. I remember phone numbers from years ago. My childhood phone, see that thing on the wall right there that mom has not covered?
That's what that is?
That thing on the wall is a hole in this kitchen from an old ass freaking telephone line that...
Why is it all the way to the ceiling?
I don't understand why she hasn't even covered that up. She's insane. Why is that hole still on the wall from a phone that has not been there since 1998? Who knows when we got rid of that phone number? Maybe like 2000. I don't think we had it when you were born, 2007. It was way before 2007 we got rid of that phone. And our phone number was 219-933-4694. Which I don't have to blur that one out because it's non-existent anymore, I think. But I loved my phone number, and I always wish that I could make my cell phone number that number, 219-933-4694. But I would memorize them like that, 4694. Or I would remember things like if we had to memorize like a Bible verse or something growing up. There's also songs for those things, like, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God so loved the world. You've never heard that in your life, have you?
Mm-mm.
She's zoned out. Dear God. Which is funny, I just realized that that's why they did that, because it helps you memorize things. But say that wasn't a song and I had to memorize that verse, I would memorize it like this. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Are you a preacher?
Exactly. It said that I could be a spiritual leader. No, but that was a very dramatic way of like explaining that. But I would do like, what's something that's like really rhymey? I don't know. The clock without the mouse. What's that nursery rhyme? The she has no idea. What's that nursery rhyme with the clock? The clock struck one, and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse went up the clock. The clock went dun 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 dun. Hickory dickory dock. Like, say if that didn't rhyme, I would memorize things enough. What is it called? The word for that is like a pantonium. A Pythagorean theorem.
That's math. That's triangles.
I'm just kidding. See, I'm good at math. I remember that. No, it's like I think that's what it's called. It's a panther.
A panther.
See, I'm animalistic smart too. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I learned better with like rhymes and beats and things like that. But apparently that's not how I learned the best, though, because I'm not the most musically smart. You don't think that you'll be strong in that one?
I don't know. Maybe.
Dear God, these people are already asleep listening to this podcast.
Well.
So then next I have visual and body smart are both tied. And then we already went over my two lowest, which are linguistic and logical. So for those of you who are visually smart and say you're really good at rebounds, like we were talking about, this one, spatial visual intelligence, or what they call picture smarts, is the capacity to think in spatial relations and images. People high in this trait often excel in areas related to artistic skills, mental imagery manipulation. I'm very good at manipulating. Just kidding. It says mental imagery manipulation. So manipulating like something that you see in your mind. Pictorial imagination and spatial analysis. This type of intelligence is often found in, see, that's a good one, photographers.
I like photography.
Which I'm good at that. I'm good at something like, you know how the things in the background are like blurred, and so you're focusing on something?
That's just iPhone cameras.
No, iPhone cameras. I don't know how to explain like that my brain is good at picking up on what, like if you're looking out in nature in your backyard and you wanted to take a picture and for it to look good, what to focus on, what you should focus on, what is the best thing, not necessarily the closest to you, or you know what I mean, if that makes sense. And some people, their eyes and their brains don't work like that. But it's obviously not my highest thing. So photographers, painters, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Interior designers. I will walk into a room and redesign and reorganize and redecorate that. And you will come home and you will be like, where am I? This is a completely different space. And I'm not saying that I will change it like to be the best that it is or better or anything, but I can just change it to look and feel different and make more sense, if that makes sense. Like most of the people's houses that I have designed or redesigned or decorated, they have all their furniture against walls, you know what I mean? And it makes more sense because if you put your couch, the sectional, in the corner, so the corner of the couch is in the corner of the wall and your TV is on the other side of the room on the wall, it makes more sense in your brain to be like, yeah, you got all this room in the middle of the room and the couch is against the wall and the TV's over there. But I've completely changed people's living rooms and they're like, what? I would have never thought to put the couch here. Why is it so much better? And there's less carpet area on the ground. This doesn't make sense that it feels bigger in here, but there's less walking area. And you're like, yeah, but that's because this area rug is here. And so it brings the room together. But now you're also closer to your TV, but it doesn't feel crammed. And you know what I mean? Like, you looked at me like you were very interested in what I was saying. That's funny. Do you like interior design?
Not really.
No? So is that you looked like you were learning. Your brain was learning. That's funny. I can tell when you're paying attention when you're not listening.
Well,
But yeah, that's a big thing. I'm more so like that stuff makes more sense to me than the photographer's thing, for example. Painters, interior designers, graphic designers, not good at that. Navigators, architects, and other professions where visual thinking is at a premium. Picture smart individuals are often found doodling, ooh, that's me, drawing. They were good at distinguishing and blending colors and interpreting visual illustrations and seeing the patterns in visual input and imagery. Too many big words. Too many words.
I know all of them.
I like them, but it's too many. I could have said that in a. Actually, no, I couldn't have said it in an either sentence. I talked too much. I would have made that a lot longer. So then we've got. I like that one. I didn't realize that. See, I didn't realize that was a spatial intelligence thing, an interior designing type of thing. That was my other thing that I told my friend. The thing that makes me most happy is the camping and being outdoors, and like going on adventures. And my next one was redecorating, like painting and being creative. And music I love to do, and it brings me the most joy and stuff in the world because I think it's because I'm doing a service for someone else pretty much, and like making them happy in a very important day of their lives. But I get such adrenaline and what is the word, serotonin, like happiness, redesigning and decorating a house. Like, oh, that whole thing of changing a room and making your mind be like, oh, what, like, wow, is, oh my god, it's so, obviously I talked about it for 30 minutes. You can tell I'm very passionate about it, and people are like, get on with it, Jenny, shut up. Hire me, I'll redecorate and redesign your house and I will blow your mind. That's all I gotta say. And the next one was Body Smart. We haven't done that one. And that's the last one, guys. And then I'll leave you alone. So bodily kinesthetic intelligence, or body smarts, is the ability to use the body to communicate. Bow, 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 bow. I've been feeling fine. I don't even know what the song is. You know what I'm singing?
I think so.
You're too young for this. Get out of here.
You started reading it.
I'm just kidding. Using the body to communicate. I'm so good at that. Solve challenges and problems and process information through movement, gestures, and facial expressions. Not me. I never make facial expressions. So annoying. This type of intelligence is associated with dexterity. I love that word. Can I just read a paragraph without interrupting my own self with what my brain is thinking? I'm so annoying.
No, you're
special. Ew, you're interesting. But do you know what dexterity is?
No. Dexter, like the cartoon I used to watch?
Yes, Dexter's Lab. Laboratory. No, dexterity, the only reason I know what that word is because of Call of Duty. So if you have your dexterity on Call of Duty, it means, wait, is it Call of Duty or was it something else? I think it was Call of Duty. It means like who's dexterous? That guy on TikTok, you've probably seen him. He does videos. It's like if everybody ran everywhere they went instead of walking. If everybody hopped instead of walking. And he runs to the house and he like jumps up and down the garbage can and he flings through the door and he flips on the couch and he like runs he's like short guy. A lot of short people are like really dexterous. Like you would think that like a tall person with really long legs is like gonna be fast, but usually the fastest people are like little people because they're just like and they could zoom through. Oh my God. That used to be one of my favorite things, was going through the mall and just being freaking annoying. I was literally like your age, running through the mall, crowd of people with my friends videotaping me. And I'd be like, here we go. And I would run through the crowd and I would like zoom through them like if I'm in a maze, but like I wouldn't bump into them. Like I wouldn't hit them and like push them around and move them and stuff. I would like contort my body to be like, if somebody heard me coming and they turned around, like I could visualize when they were gonna like turn around and bump into me. So I would move like this and I'll go through their legs. I was literally insane. I was psycho. But I would do stuff like that, and like sure, people are good at dexterity, and it's just like it's something that, like, for example, like John wasn't like, no offense if he ever listens to this, but he wasn't good at that because A, he's really tall and his long leggy legs, but like he was more like stiff. Like he wasn't able to like I just contorted myself to go through the holes in this chair. Like, I don't know, like a cat. A cat will squeeze through the holes in the fences, and you're like, what the hell is that thing just doing? And it flops itself on top of the fence, and then like dexterous is just like being able to flow like water, like a mermaid. I love it. Like when people's hands are dexterous and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what it means, but I remember always putting the dexterity on in video games because it just made you like move faster and better. And now you learned something new. See, you looked like you're interested in that one too. This is why I interrupt myself all the time, even though I pretty much really annoy myself. But that's the part of body smarts that I like. Flexibility, coordination, and other somatic motory skills. Uh-oh, my linguistic skills are flopping. What's somatic?
I don't know.
Somatic. You want to Google it?
No.
Google was somatic. It makes me think of like sound waves. Is that what it means?
I want to be a dancer. I wouldn't mind being a dancer.
Oh, look, yeah. So the next thing says dancers, athletes, sculptors, carpenters, and surgeons. That's a good one. All tend to be high in body smarts. Those with this kind of intelligence often learn better through movement, doing, touching, and physically interacting with others. I do believe that I do that. I like have to be, I don't know, like I learn better when I'm doing something physically. Like, don't tell me how to do this task. I need to either see you doing it or let me try. Like, let me, you learn hands-on instead of grab the tool that's labeled A and put it in hole B and spin it clockwise 3 times and up and down. I can't. No, what did you just say? Give me that. Now let me just do like this, and I move something, and that's how I learn. I can't. Physically interacting with others, they also usually have good muscle memory and tend to be great with tools. I have good muscle memory, just not brain memory. Hello, it's Future Jenguin here from the editing world. Just interjecting to mention that I forgot to mention that dexterity mostly means like a swiftness and an ease of use of your hands. So, for example, that's why I enjoy playing guitar. I have long, spidery fingers. So people who are piano players and violinists and guitarists and things like that are very dexterous because it means mostly with your hands, but it can also mean with your mind and your body, but it's mostly a hands thing. And yeah, it just always kind of came easily. Like I was mentioning, John couldn't play guitar when I would try to teach him because his hands were just very big and stiff and he had arthritis and all kinds of shit. So, painters and things like that, and dexterity in video games, like I was mentioning, kind of made you like throw your grenades faster or catch things faster or put things on the ground faster. That's basically what it meant. And then when I mentioned the word somatic, I looked it up, and it's basically like a swiftness or a good way of controlling your kind of how your brain works, your thoughts, your just how your brain works. I don't know how to explain it. You can Google it if you want to learn more, but it's more like control of the mind type thing. So I'm very annoying, and I just had to come in here and fix that because anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program. But that's all the different types of intelligence. And I think that there are many more, but these are the most common. Like I said, something like comedic skills and the ability to like relate to people. Like I feel like that should be an intelligence too, a relational intelligence, because you can be really good at making me laugh, or you could be really good at like hearing what I'm saying and understanding me or communicating to me, but are you able to relate to me and make me feel understood? You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's all different types. And so we finally had this conversation, and it's much longer than I intended it to be, but
3 hours later.
3 hours. But I would think it was fun. You want to do yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we're gonna read Juliana's type of intelligence. And for those of you who feel like you're very opposite of me or a different personality, and you might relate to her a little bit better, that will be on next week's episode. This one, I just realized like how long we've been recording, and I do really enjoy this conversation. But for those of you who hate longer episodes, this would just be miserable. So we're gonna do kind of a part two, I guess, and we will read the questions for this quiz for
Like we
those.
did the last one.
Yeah, so we can actually take the quiz with Juliana. You can hear what they are, so that way you can just listen to the podcast and kind of guess what you mostly are or whatever. For those of you who don't feel like going online and actually Googling and taking the tests, or who are just interested in hearing that. But I think if we do it here, it'll be way too long. So if you want to hear the rest of the quiz and have a more in-depth conversation about that, I'll insert that in next week's episode at the beginning. And then I have some other fun things that I found in the notes of my phone that we're about to do. We're going to take some other quizzes and stuff I'm really excited about. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for being here, for dealing with my spazzy self. I know that I talk a lot, and I say it every week. I know how annoying I am, but I mean, I love me. I can't help it. I'm going to die. And then one of these days you can listen to my podcast and remember how annoying I was and how much you just wanted to slash your eyeballs out listening to me. But we will see you next week. We're going to have some fun over there and take the quiz. And let me know on Instagram. I'll probably post this on my stories or something, what intelligence type you are, or what you think you are, or what you thought about this conversation. I love hearing your guys' input. And sorry if you can hear Juliana massaging her head in the background. It's fine. Everything's fine. Not everybody is annoyed by background noises as I am. I gotta go to bed. Okay, bye, guys. And then I said, bye, puta.
And then that's it.
So do 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 you, and I will do me. Ew. Okay, for real.